Well, I'm joined now by the sports analyst, Frankie Clarence. Frankie, we can't really start anywhere else but the Champions League and Arsenal. Same old Arsenal. We were saying before this game that Arsenal always go out before the last 16. They never get to the quarters, or recently in the last 5 years they haven't. But that's because they've been playing Barcelona. They've been playing, big teams like Bayern Munich and Monaco. Well. You'd have thought what went wrong for them? You watched the game. I
watched the game. I think it was just simply complacency. When they got the draw, a lot of people were like, "Oh, we finished second again. We're going to have a hard team." So they took for granted what Monaco are capable of doing. They think the only big team in France is PSG, and wrongly so. Monaco finished top of the group for a reason, which a lot of Arsenal fans can see why. Yeah,
they didn't concede many goals in the group stages, but they didn't score many either, and they scored 3 today. Is it defensively that Arsenal are really, that's their real problem area?
Yeah, you could say it's similar with United. Like, they've got so much emphasis on attack. They think similar attack will get them out of the defensive problems. They don't seem to have a leadership anymore. Like, a lot of people are saying Koscielny and Mertesacker are not the partnership they used to be. I can see where they're coming from. But don't get wrong, they did score a goal from a deflection. And also, I believe it was Oxlade-Chamberlain made an error that led to the 3rd goal. So we can't fault just one game being a turmoil for Arsenal.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that Santi Cazorla, very good going forward, but less so, defensively, and they may need a Patrick Vieira kind of figure. But it's so hard to take for them. Do you think they can turn it around in the second leg?
Arsenal are capable of scoring 2 goals for sure, but once again, it's a situation they can score 2 goals, but can they keep a clean sheet to get that progression through? Personally, I don't think Arsenal got the firepower to do that. I know I've got a lot of people saying that Arsenal can do it. They can fight for Premiership, but they're a better team than last season, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like they haven't got stability or consistency, especially, personally, I think if Flamini's not playing, they've not really got a holding midfielder that can do the job. A lot of people say Jack Wilshere. He only plays like 10 games a season, always get injury prone, so yeah, that's the error for me.
Yeah, and obviously 2-0 wouldn't be enough because they need that away goal that they got.
Yeah.
Liverpool playing tomorrow, your side, what do you see happening there?
Liverpool, they're in really great form. But what they come across, I don't think they have experience, because it's a very young squad, is the pedigree in Europe, which they failed to do in the Champions League earlier this season. And I don't think they can handle the hostile atmosphere that you do get in Istanbul. A lot of people saying, "Oh, we're going back to where we made history in the 5th Champions League." I just wanted to put it out there, just remembering the good days.
We won the Champions League recently.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just something like that. I don't think they've got firepower. They don't have Gerrard there to guide them leadership. Yes, we've been on a good roll recently, but having the hostile ability that Besiktas has, and I do fancy Demba Ba to be a threat to us.
Let's move to the Qatar story. Do you think a Winter World Cup is feasible? Would you like to see it happen then?
Yes, I've got no problem. I don't understand what the emphasis and problem with, let's say, UEFA. Forget the whole football. UEFA seem to want to make everything has to run through them. They're not the voice of everything in football. Correctly so, the last 2 World Cups geographically have been in winter, but no one's complained about that, especially no one in Europe. So why now all of a sudden now we're talking, oh, it's too hot, X, Y, Z. Yeah, it may be hot. I can understand why they have changed it for the benefit of everyone else, but now clubs are trying to get involved in an international tournament. You never see clubs interrupting a World Cup because they're 2 different parties, so just leave it and respect that everyone's thinking the best of what needs to be done.
Yeah, I guess why they're particularly annoyed is because the bid said it was going to be in the summer, and now they're saying, oh, let's just change it from the bid. They won it on that bid, so it's unfair for them then to completely change what they'd originally planned.
Yeah, but look, what's it? The World Cup, this World Cup is going to be in like 7 years' time. I think that's enough time for people to adjust by it. You need to understand a lot of teams in the Southern Hemisphere, even North America, they play their season around the World Cup because during their domestic season is during the World Cup period, but they never complained about it. So why does Europe seem to be the case?
Yeah, and I guess there's the argument that if you're not going to give Qatar the World Cup now, or you're going to rule out large swathes of the world if you're not going to let them play in the winter, because otherwise countries are too hot in our summer for them to play the World Cup. So it's just about giving other countries the chance to host the World Cup. And as you say, why should Europe dominate that process? Anyway, Frankie, thank you very much. We will have more for you in a little while. Well, time to welcome back my guest, Frankie Clarence, who has just come back to London from Africa, where you've been doing some charity work. What exactly have you been doing?
I've been doing a lot of charity work in eastern parts of Africa. I've been running my own charity, trying to promote give opportunity to underprivileged children. With my charity, I tend to not focus much on asking for people's money, but more asking if there are any of their old clothes or toys. So a lot of people been beneficial with a lot of their sports equipment, which has been very beneficial. Like, I've seen people give me footballs, people have given me basketballs, a lot of opportunities, and it's just been great just to see kids, although they've not got much, but they're so happy, and it's just been pretty beautiful to see people smiling when times are hard.
And how long were you there doing this kind of stuff?
I was there for 2 months for sure. I was doing a lot of work there. I went to countries in Ethiopia, Malawi, Zambia, Mozambique. I went to a lot of these places. I tried to go to the most remote areas. As you can see the images, I was trying to give basically anything I can. And what I noticed with people there, they use education so importantly, and what they love is sports. So I try to educate and promote and tell them to stick at it, because you can never go wrong with either or two. And
what kind of sports are popular there? Football, obviously, but what else
is
big?
To my surprise, it was actually volleyball, which was a really major thing there. A lot of people told me that after football, during the Olympics, after football and the track event, volleyball was the most watched people like to watch during the time of the Olympics. A lot of people are trying to promote it there. I know Malawi got their own national team trying to form up now. They've got their first ever international friendly in May against Ethiopia. So it's a lot of stuff like that, saying that you may not have the facilities as us people we take for granted, but keep at it, because it's a beautiful thing. Sports can bring so much unity amongst people.
And you're also there for the Africa Cup of Nations, of course. Yes. Very exciting finale to that tournament with the penalties, obviously. Just what was that tournament like? What was it like being around there?
It was amazing. It was a bit unfortunate because, obviously, I originated from South Africa. By the time I did get to South Africa, we already knocked out of the tournament, so I didn't really get to feel of it. But the countries over there, because they embrace football to the highest degree over there, everyone was just so enjoyed it. It was like really surprised, even though countries I attended were not in the tournament, they all took the time to watch it. We were all a bit disappointed to hear about how much of a big factor of the whole incident that happened with the host nation. But over there, people were realizing that we cannot be judged by one incident, which a lot of us tend to do. We think that because we've done one thing in the past, that's just going to be our story for the rest of our lives. People make mistakes, and we should really move on from it. But the experience was very, very magical, and probably probably better than my time in the World Cup in South Africa.
Really, that good? And how do you think stuff like this will reflect on African football in general? Because you mentioned there was that incident with the host. There was also the incident in the semi-final. A few things going on there. But do you think, in general, African football is becoming more organised and becoming as more commercially viable? People are paying it more attention?
We proved that. A lot of people are always seeing us that we're unaware of what we're doing or our reactions, and we're not doing anything to do that. We are trying the best we can. The whole world didn't believe that we can host a World Cup. We've done that. We've hosted Rugby World Cups. We've hosted Cricket World Cups. We've shown that we can do what people in the Western world are capable of doing. We are trying to move forward, and by learning our mistakes, a lot of people tend to dwell on things and say, that's it, we can't speak no more. But the people over there are working on it, and they're trying to show that we're forward-minded thinking people.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the Brazil Olympics, do you think it's going to be ready in time?
Yeah. I think they will be ready. I think it's a bigger ask because with the World Cup they had last season, it's just football. But this now they're talking about over 30 sports, and it's supposed to be squeezed out all in one city. It's a hard ask to do, but I think they will do it. Like every other host, they will get there in the end.
Perfect. Frankie Clarence, thank you very much indeed for coming in. We'll see you soon.